Thank you everyone for joining the Zendesk session today, which is focused on turning customer feedback into actionable product insights. My name is Michelle. I will be your speaker today, joined from Zendesk. I work on our Technology Alliances team. So we'll be covering a few areas today, but first let's start with why feedback even matters to your business. I think this sums it up very well. You need to know how to collect feedback and how to use it to really put it into action. So, one theme you'll hear me touch on today is all of this feedback could be collected and sitting somewhere in your business or organization, but it's only as good as if you know how to use it and how to use it well. Listen to your customers, something a lot of companies say, but not so many of them actually do. Customer feedback is important because it tells a business what people are thinking, what they're feeling, or experiencing when dealing with your company or brand. It can also help you see trends, understand what people want, and find ways to improve your overall product or service. When aggregated and organized properly, you can use that information to make better customer-centric decisions, which can lead to a lot of really positive impacts to your business, including improved products and services, improved internal processes that impact the customer experience, and help build stronger connections with your customers. Even though we know it's crucial to gather feedback, it can sometimes be hard to know, where do I even start? How do I collect this feedback? And what if this feedback already exists in my organization? How do I find it? Or how do I even know that it's there? So let's touch on how you can begin your feedback journey with customer support being that main kind of central department that you tap into. And chances are, if you have a customer support team, this is already happening. So there's a lot of different ways you can get feedback from customers. It can be quite overwhelming. Not only the different types of feedback that you can get, there's structured versus unstructured, there's product feedback versus UX feedback. Is this a bug or a feature request? All the way to the ways in which you can collect that feedback. So there's different mediums and in ways feedback can kind of come funneled back into your team or your organization. It can come in the form of a survey, a review, those website pop-ups that we all love, even social media. What we're seeing today, and I'm sure you're seeing as well from your customers, is a lot of times the public is turning to social media as a forum to raise issues or concerns versus the more traditional routes like a phone call or an email. The challenge here is typically the team who handles social media is not the customer support or customer care team, who is more equipped to kind of handle that feedback and that information. So this is just one example of how feedback may come in through a non-traditional channel and making sure that you're set up in a way to aggregate that, collect that, and make sure you're sharing it with the right teams who are equipped to handle it. So today, as I mentioned, we're here to focus on how your customer service team can be your biggest treasure trove of customer feedback and how to pull in those findings into actionable product insights. So we talked about how you can get feedback from loads of places and mediums just now. Zendesk actually helps you aggregate all of these points of feedback into one place, whether that's commentary coming through a help desk ticket, a phone call, a review left on Amazon, or even if it was collected by a bot on your website. If we go back to that social media example, tools like Zendesk enables your marketing and social team to flag that comment that is really meant to be handled by your customer support team. So Zendesk not only helps collect this in a unified place, which is great, it also helps bridge the information gap between your customer support team and other internal stakeholders, such as product, marketing, and engineering. Here's a quick testimonial from one of our customers, Jim Pass. So their director of operations actually used Zendesk data to decipher why people were even reaching out to them so much. And then they took it a step further by using that data to build a roadmap of improvements. This is a really great example of really tapping into centralized data from your customers, people that matter the most, right? And taking action on it and building something that takes in their thoughts and concerns into consideration and turning that into improvements. So we covered why feedback's important and kind of all the different ways it can come in and all the different types of feedback you can get, and also how you can leverage your customer support team to be that central treasure trove of information, as I mentioned. So now I want to kind of shift and dive into some specific use cases that combine the power of Atlassian and Zendesk. So you have all this feedback sitting in Zendesk or whichever support tool that you may use. So now what? So Bill Gates once said that your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. And the truth is that customer feedback, good or bad, is only valuable if you use it. What good does it do if it isn't shared? It's just kind of sitting there, no one's looking at it, no one's taking action on it. It's really important to actually use it and leverage it in the way that helps your business and your customers. Through our integrations with Trello, Jira software, and recently announced Jira Product Discovery, you can easily disseminate, escalate, and act on these findings with your internal teams and stakeholder. So I'm going to touch on 3 use cases. Let's start with Trello. Because of its versatility and adoption across various teams, Trello has endless use cases. We do see customers use Trello and Zendesk to collaborate with product teams, but what I find interesting, what I want to highlight here, are the use cases when Trello is used to communicate with other teams, such as marketing, operations, and even sales. As we saw earlier, there are all types of feedback, and not all of it is necessarily product or engineering related. So here we're showing you how you can link a Zendesk ticket directly from Zendesk to a Trello board. And as you'll see kind of a theme across all these 3 use cases I'm going to touch on, one of the main advantages is it allows groups to stay and work in the tools that they love. So agents stay in Zendesk or their customer support tool. They can still communicate through Trello boards, which again, internally, like our marketing team uses Trello, operations team, or even the sales team, right? So not all feedback is kind of funneled in one department or in one way. Now, jumping to our most popular integration is the Jira app within Zendesk. So this video is showing you kind of a quick demo, but it basically enables customer support teams to escalate bugs and issues to engineering and development teams. This is kind of one of our most used, kind of longest standing integration with Atlassian. So a lot of great value that comes out of this. It really helps quantify the issues for the engineering teams when they see that level of customer impact. So as they start to see kind of tickets get added to Jira requests or Jira issues, they can start to see and kind of understand like how big of an impact this is having to the customer experience or their customers. It also provides the ability to track development progress via the Jira issue status. So what's really nice about this is it automatically updates the ticket once the issue's been resolved, which can happen in Jira. So the engineering or product lead can resolve the issue in Jira. That automatically tracks back into Zendesk. So the agent actually can see progress status without ever leaving Zendesk, which is great. And lastly, let's finish on the 3rd use case, which is Jira and Zendesk, which is Jira Product Discovery. So Jira Product Discovery is actually part of the Jira integration that I just showed you. And as you learned earlier in the product keynote, Jira Product Discovery helps product managers capture the why behind the work and collaborate with their stakeholders. It focuses on taking customer feedback and turning that into feature requests. So earlier we kind of focused a little bit more on kind of bug tracking. This one is a little bit more on the feature request side of the house and how Jira Product Discovery and Zendesk helps you build robust roadmaps off of that. It's actually really similar to that Jim Pass use case I touched on. So this screenshot here is a list used to prioritize product ideas that pulls in user impact score based on data from Zendesk, which is very, very cool to see. So customer-facing teams can raise opportunities, influence the roadmap, and understand what's coming next from product teams. For product managers, it can help them build a balanced view of opportunities and trade-offs, make product decisions backed by customer insights, and even identify customers to talk to if you want to do a little bit more of a UX research or user research. So both product managers and customer service agents can add key customer conversations from Zendesk within one click, whether that's an individual support ticket that helps kind of give you more color, give the product managers more color about a particular feature request, or you can use Zendesk filters that show how widespread a particular customer problem is. Again, this is all about prioritization, quantifying, and really touching on and explaining the why behind how you're prioritizing features and future roadmaps. All right, so to recap the 3 kind of use cases and what we touched on here, there are several ways to kind of slice and dice the feedback you're receiving and communicate those findings with internal teams. What's equally important is creating a closed loop plan. With Zendesk and Jira, it's very easy to have that bidirectional communication. So what you saw earlier, it helps you keep product and engineering up to speed, it helps you keep customer service up to speed, and it helps your customers stay apprised each step of the way. Together, Zendesk and Atlassian recognize how critical it is to kind of drive deeper collaboration between your CS and CX organization and other internal departments. We always say at Zendesk, customer support is a team sport, right? So this is why we really focus on ensuring interoperability between our product suites and continue to do so with Jira Product Discovery, which is coming soon. Okay, so now let's wrap up on kind of let's bring it home around all the things we talked about. So all customer feedback is customer data, essentially. And as we know, data is super, super powerful. So when used well, it can have a positive business impact. My recommendation and kind of next steps are, firstly, know why you want customer feedback. Build a process around that and build a process around getting that feedback. Most importantly, which is what we showed here today, is sharing that feedback widely to all the teams and stakeholders that are involved. Again, what use is this data and information and feedback if no one actually sees it? And then finally, act on it and champion your customers at every step of the way. Hopefully today you can take away how the Zendesk and Atlassian product suite can help you turn that valuable customer feedback into actionable plans. To learn more about the various integrations we offer across Zendesk and Atlassian, we actually have more than what we touched on today. Please check out zendesk.com/Atlassian. Lastly, thank you very much for your time today and good luck in your feedback journey.